So when I first started this channel, I laid out all my magic tricks on the table and I said, is this what it means to be a hobbyist magician? A collector of secrets. And this resonated with a lot of you guys, that you are nervous to perform magic, which is completely valid. Because when you use the word perform, it creates a lot of anxiety, right? Like literally performance anxiety, may lead to entertainment dysfunction. You know what I mean? So it's, of course, I think we should reframe it. We should use different language. We should say sharing. I want to share magic. That lowers the stakes mentally. So my challenge for all the underperforming hobbyists that watch this channel is to perform one trick to one person in a low stakes environment. Because as collectors of secrets, I ask you guys, are we actually magicians? Are you a magician if you've got loads of magic tricks, or are you a magician if you share it with someone? A couple of things that help me is I try to imagine the worst case scenario. So for example, if I go up to a group of lads and I say to them, I'm a magician and I'd love to show you something. And they're like, magician, you say? It's been a while since we beat anyone up. That obviously they're not going to say that. But it's I think of all the things that have gone wrong in the past. Like I had quite a cringeworthy moment where I was doing double cross to a child. He must have been 12 years old, and he called me out immediately. He's like, no, you've just stamped my hand. I saw it on the pen. And I was like, what do you mean, this pen? He's like, no, the other pen in your pocket, the one with the bit on the end. And I was like, I don't know what you mean, young man. Oh, God. So yeah, it felt awful, but it offered me some really valuable feedback on the way I was performing it. And I don't do it very often these days, but if I was to do it, I know for a fact that because of that experience, the misdirection is so far under the radar this time. There's a lot of time misdirection as well. So even those cringeworthy moments where they're crushing, that could be the worst case scenario. There's still a silver lining because you get real-time feedback. You realize, from everything that's gone wrong in magic, it really makes you a better magician. You have to have these moments of failure to, get better. You to be good at something, you have to be willing to suck at it first. Also lowering the stakes. Just sharing. I'd love to show you something. Introducing magic through conversation is something that I love doing. I had a brilliant moment recently where I shared 6 with it's the effect by Lloyd Barnes, the lottery prediction effect. I did it with my friend. We were out for drinks and it was his birthday. So I made him a birthday card and I put the prediction on the card. This particular trick loans itself to a conversational intro. So I'm doing magic and nobody knows that I'm doing magic. I begin by saying, oh, your birthday's on the 13th. My mum's birthday is tomorrow on the 14th, Valentine's Day actually. And my mum's favourite number is 13. And when she was playing the lottery, she always used to play the same numbers. And then his girlfriend pipes up like, oh yeah, my mum plays the same numbers, right? You'll never guess what. My mum checked her numbers online and she would have won the lottery if she'd have carried on playing. No way, that's incredible. I know, what a wild story, right? But, we carry on. I want to be deliberately vague about the effect because when I found out how it was done, I was really pleasantly surprised. So, I want to be, out of respect to Lloyd as well, just to be deliberately vague. But let's just say at the end, when they picked some random lottery numbers, and I said, oh, there's no way that, anyone would have known that you'd have picked those numbers. And they're like, no, absolutely not. I give him this birthday card. He looks at his birthday card. The numbers match. The reaction was fantastic. Really brilliant. I got the biggest compliment ever from his girlfriend, Gina. She was like, Fred, that is Darren Brown shit. That is Darren Brown shit. You are getting so good at magic. I love that. It gives me a little bit of imposter syndrome because essentially I'm just like, I've just read this in a book and I'm taking credit for it came from a mind of a genius. But people are like, you're getting so good. You're like Darren Brown. It's such a lovely compliment, but it's so interesting to I don't know, does anyone else have that imposter syndrome when you do something and you're like, oh, I just bought this off the internet. And my sister's girlfriend was there and she was like, he's got a time machine. That's the only way he can do that. He's got a time machine. My girlfriend was really pleasantly surprised because it was a trick that she'd never seen performed before. So she said, oh my God, for once, like something that you haven't guinea pigged on me first. And she loved it. And then Tongi, my friend, he was just like, he's not everyone just gushes over magic. So he gives it a much more sort of curious, face. He's thinking like, I don't understand how you've done that, which is a perfectly valid reaction to magic. But anyway, I love performing that trick, and I love the fact that as I was like building a conversation into a lottery, I was doing magic, and no one knew I was doing magic. I'd already done the magic, you know. It was really cool. I love tricks like that. Brilliant effect, absolutely fantastic. In fact, I've made my dad a birthday card with the numbers hidden in the design, because I want to perform that to him on his birthday. He's turning 80 soon, and I'm thinking I could probably do this virtually, so it would be really fun to at least try it. So that is a way to introduce magic in a conversation, you know. Sometimes I do find myself in a conversation and being like, how can I shoehorn in some magic to this situation? It's quite fun sometimes. I remember I did a croupier training course last year, and I put some pictures on Facebook of me dealing poker at a Texas Hold'em poker tournament. But some people would ask me about it. Oh, I saw those pictures on Facebook, man. What was it like being a croupier? I said, it was good, man. I got to see lots of people play poker. I learned a lot. I think I can tell, like, if someone's got a really good poker face. They're like, no way, really? Yeah, do you want to try something? Do you play poker? Do you think you could have a good poker face? And we could try a little experiment. You know, it might not work, but what I want you to do is imagine a deck of cards spread across like this. And I just want you to think of one of the numbers. Don't think of a suit just yet, but you should have a value in mind. It's a beautiful little script from Reed Ferry. He's got a beautiful effect where you can learn it for free on his channel. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's essentially you guess that the card that they're thinking of, and they're like, no way, how did you know that I was thinking of that card? Fantastic effect. And then they say, are you a magician? And then, you know, can you show us something else? Oh, well, maybe. And I love introducing magic like that. It's like telling a joke, you know. It's like I think there's a lot of similarities between comedy, stand-up comedy, and magic. Because no one knows what the punchline is going to be. When you're doing magic, no one knows what's going to happen, right? I think it's such a powerful thing to share magic. Anyway, other ways that I like to introduce magic is if someone asks me, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm a magician. No way, you're actually a magician. Yeah, I am. Would you show us a magic trick? I'm not really sure. I don't really have anything with me. No, it's fine. Well, what's this? What have I got? I've got my... I'll tell you what we could do. I could try something here. You know, I've got a couple of loyalty cards here, and we could try something. I also like to do this for people's birthdays as well. If they say, it's my birthday. I'm like, no way, it's your birthday. I would have made you a birthday card if I'd have known. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can do something now. I used to do a bit of origami as a kid. And again, I love introducing it like that because they think... They have no idea where it's going. They have no idea that they're just about to end up with an absolute impossible souvenir. And when you say it's origami, they're thinking that you're going to start folding it in places, and then all of a sudden it's just joined. Like, it's so cool. So sharing magic in just the most unexpected places, and birthdays is such a great... I know that Trilogy Extreme is such a fantastic effect. I've mentioned it a few times, but it's one of my favourites because I can put the reveal on a birthday card, or I did it for my friend's wedding. It was such a great gift. And it's, number one, it's bulletproof, it's easy, and it's impossible. It ticks all the boxes for me. It is one of the most perfect magic tricks. And it lends itself so well for a reveal in such a creative way. You know, here's a birthday card. Oh, really? Excellent. But before you open it, let's just play a little game. Incredible. It gets such good reactions. On the subject of good reactions, in fact, I wanted to highlight a channel, Magician P. This guy was writing in my comments saying, I really want to perform for a talent show, but I don't think I've got the balls to do it. But, you know, your content's really inspiring me to try it. And then he wrote down, I did it. I went and he did an open mic night, and then he went and entered a talent show and did magic on stage. I mean, talk about performance. That is literally performing on stage. And then he filmed it, and then he made a video about it, which was inspired by this content. So if you like it, I'd definitely give him a shout out. He's the sort of guy that's literally gone from 0 to 1. You know, he's literally performed on a stage in front of people. He got, round of applause. He did an open mic night, which he filmed, and then he's got some feedback, and then he improved his performance all in this one video. And I was so... Like, it made me feel so warm inside. I was like, look at this guy. He's like doing, the same thing as, performing magic clumsily, then performing it like less clumsily and getting some feedback, audience prompting. It was really great, wholesome content, and I think that's really wonderful. And I want to inspire you guys. I want to challenge you guys to perform one trick for one person in a low stakes environment, and then comment and just be like, yeah, listen, I did it. Or if you are performing magic, why don't you try something that you've never tried before? For example, a new trick. I think that would be, in fact, I'm going to challenge myself to do a trick. I really want to perform Chop by Craig Petty. It's such a fantastic effect. I'm not going to do the lemon because it's a bit of a faff, and logistically it's a little bit more difficult for me. But I think I would love to do the whole, it seems so organic. I'm going to challenge myself to do Chop. There you go. I said it. I'm going to do it. And I challenge you guys to do magic tricks that you've never done before. Or if you've never performed magic, then what the bloody hell are you doing collecting it, right? So I challenge you to show someone a magic trick, and then and that makes you a magician, right? Otherwise, what are you doing? Just collecting boxes, ordering stuff off the internet, going to conventions, mingling with the real magicians. You've got to perform magic to be a magician. So this is my challenge to you guys. And another channel I want to shout out is Limitless Project X, who has a series at the moment called The Magic Lab. The first video was absolutely phenomenal. I really enjoyed his methodical planning of what he was going to do. He went to a birthday party, he figured out 3 or 4 tricks that he wanted to do, what order he wanted to do them in, sort of mentally rehearsing them, what pocket space he would need, whether he'd be sat down, stood up. It was really fantastic content. Then he'd come back after the gig, broke down what went right, what went wrong, what he'd do different next time. And his delivery is smooth. I think it's a great channel, great resource. Honestly, I'd like to shine a spotlight on it and signal boost it, because especially if you're thinking about performing, this guy has got a very, I've got a bit more of an improvisational approach, but this guy had a very cool, unique point of view, which I thought was really valuable. So yeah, go check his channel out. Anyway, with that said, I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you in the next video. I'm Fred, the underperforming hobbyist. Peace.